Let me tell you something that's not often said, but is absolutely necessary. If you want to rise, if you want to lead, if you want to live a life on your terms, then you've got to be strong enough to survive alone. Not because you'll always have to, but because there are moments in life when you absolutely will. And how you carry yourself in those moments, how you stand, how you speak, how you stay steady when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. That's what builds the kind of strength nobody can take away. See, too many people are afraid of being alone. They confuse solitude with loneliness. They think silence means something's wrong. But I'm here to tell you, there's power in isolation. There's clarity in stillness. And there's something sacred about learning to be your own backbone, your own cheerleader, your own lifeline. Because here's the truth. There will be days when the phone doesn't ring, when nobody checks in, when support is nowhere to be found. And it's in those moments you learn what you're really made of. That's when you stop depending on applause and start depending on discipline. That's when you stop searching for validation and start listening to your inner voice. That's when you stop being afraid of being alone and you start becoming unstoppable. You've got to make yourself strong enough that when people walk away, you don't crumble. That when they stop believing in you, you don't stop believing in yourself. That when plans fall apart, your mindset doesn't. Because people will come and go. That's life. Some will love you, some will leave you, some will stay just long enough to drain you. But you've got to be solid, rooted, grounded, not because you're heartless, but because you're whole. Strength doesn't mean you don't feel. Strength means you feel it all, but you don't let it break you. You cry, but you don't quit. You hurt, but you don't lose hope. You may bend, but you don't fold. And that kind of strength, real, quiet, grounded strength, that's built in the moments when you're all you've got. And I get it. It's hard, it's heavy, it's lonely. You watch people with their circles, their support, their cheering crowds, and you wonder why your path feels so quiet. But don't confuse quiet with failure. Sometimes God isolates you because he's doing something in you that he can't do in front of everybody. Sometimes the most powerful transformations happen in silence, in shadows, in solitude. You learn things when you're alone that no one can teach you in a crowd. You learn your patterns. You face your fears. You hear your thoughts without distraction. You stop pretending. You stop performing. You meet the real you. And that version of you, that's the one you're going to need when everything gets tested. That's the version you're going to rely on when there's no one else to call. That's the version that's going to walk with you through every valley, every betrayal, every closed door, every setback. Because real strength isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows. It's not proven by how many people show up for you. It's proven by how you show up for yourself when nobody else does. Some people fear being alone because they haven't learned how to love themselves yet. They chase relationships, friendships, noise, distractions, anything to avoid facing that silence. But here's the truth. When you finally learn how to be okay with being alone, you become dangerous. Dangerous to mediocrity. Dangerous to toxic patterns. Dangerous to anyone who thought they could manipulate your need for company. Because now, your peace doesn't depend on people. Your identity doesn't depend on attention. Your purpose doesn't shrink just because the room got quiet. You've become your own force, your own anchor, your own source. And don't get it twisted. Being strong enough to survive alone doesn't mean you always have to. It means when people do show up, it's a bonus, not a necessity. It means you don't cling out of fear. You connect out of choice. It means your love is strong, but it's not desperate. Your presence is generous, but it's not performative. You've learned to give without losing yourself, to help without harming your own peace, to support others without abandoning your own soul. And yes, it hurts when you have to walk alone, but let that pain mold you. Let it mature you. Let it teach you what you tolerate, what you deserve, what you were settling for. Because sometimes the most painful departures lead to the most powerful growth. When you lose people you thought you couldn't live without, and you survive, that's strength. When you go through things no one clapped for, and you keep showing up, that's strength. When you keep building, keep believing, keep becoming, even when nobody notices, that's strength. So if you're walking alone right now, let me remind you, this season is not a punishment. It's a preparation. God's not withholding. He's refining. He's strengthening your roots before He elevates your reach. He's teaching you how to carry your own weight before He adds more to your plate. This is where champions are made, right here. Not in the crowd, not in the praise, not in the comfort, but in the grind, in the quiet, in the moments when you keep going and no one's watching, in the decisions you make when it's just you and the mirror, when you choose discipline over distraction, purpose over popularity, peace over pressure. So make yourself strong enough to survive alone, not because you have to do it all alone forever, but because when life tests you, and it will, you won't break. You won't beg. You won't shrink. You'll rise. You'll adjust. You'll keep moving. And when you come out on the other side, you won't just be stronger. You'll be wiser. You'll know who you are, what you need, what you'll never tolerate again. That's the gift of walking alone. You come back to yourself. You find your own power. You realize you were the foundation all along. Let's go a little deeper now. You respected yourself enough to say no. But what comes next? What do you do after the boundaries are drawn? After you've started protecting your space, your mind, your heart? I'll tell you what comes next. Peace. And I'm here to remind you of this truth. You don't need anyone's permission to protect it. We live in a world where people feel entitled to your time, your energy, your attention, like you owe it to them simply because they asked. But let me make something clear to you. Just because someone wants access to you doesn't mean they deserve it. Wanting your time does not entitle them to it. Needing your energy doesn't qualify them to receive it. And asking for your help does not mean you're obligated to give it, especially when it costs you your own peace. Peace isn't passive. It's not sitting around with candles hoping for quiet. Peace is active. It's earned. It's built. It's defended. And sometimes, peace looks like walking away from chaos, even if it screams louder than your silence. You weren't put on this earth to constantly explain yourself. You weren't born to be a full-time fixer for people who won't fix themselves. Your peace matters. Your mental clarity matters. Your emotional balance matters. So if something disturbs that, if someone disrupts that, you have every right to pull back, step away, and protect what's sacred within you. You don't need a roundtable discussion to justify why you're choosing peace. You don't owe anybody a slideshow presentation on your boundaries. You don't have to apologize for putting yourself first. Let's be real. There will always be people who think your peace is selfish, who think your boundaries are rude, who think your silence is disrespect. Let them think what they want. Their misunderstanding of your healing is not your responsibility. The only person who truly knows what you need is you. So trust that. Trust your instincts. Trust the voice inside that says, "This doesn't feel right," and honor it before it turns into regret. Because here's the truth. Regret is often just peace you ignored. You've got goals to reach, a legacy to build, a life to lead. And none of that can happen when you're constantly sacrificing your mental and emotional clarity just to keep people close. If keeping them around means losing yourself, then what exactly are you keeping? And don't confuse loyalty with self-abandonment. Don't confuse love with self-neglect. You can love people from a distance. You can wish them well without giving them a front row seat to your life. You don't have to destroy your peace to prove your care. Protecting your peace isn't about being cold. It's about being clear. It's not about being cruel. It's about being conscious of what you allow into your atmosphere. Your space is sacred. Not everyone gets to sit in it. Not everyone gets to speak into it. Not everyone gets to stay in it. So don't apologize for cutting off the conversation that drained you. Don't feel guilty for declining the invitation that didn't align. Don't hesitate to mute the noise that was never meant to guide your path. And if they call you distant, let them. If they call you guarded, so be it. If they say you've changed, smile. That's the goal, because evolution looks like distance to those who stayed stagnant. Sometimes the greatest act of self-respect is silence. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Because peace isn't found in pleasing others. It's found in pleasing God, protecting your purpose, and preserving your soul. Every time you choose peace, you're choosing clarity over confusion. Every time you say no to chaos, you're saying yes to destiny. Every time you let go of what disturbs you, you make room for what develops you. You've come too far to keep entertaining what breaks you. You've survived too much to keep explaining why your boundaries matter. You've grown too strong to let guilt talk you out of your growth. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You don't need approval to honor your healing. You don't need validation to step into your next level. You only need courage. Courage to listen to yourself. Courage to stand alone if you have to. Courage to walk away, close the door, and not look back. So from this day forward, make this your standard. If it costs your peace, it's too expensive. If it robs your joy, it's not worth it. If it breaks your spirit, it's not love. If it delays your growth, it's not alignment. If it clouds your clarity, it's not direction. You were created for more than being everyone's emergency contact. You were created to shine, to thrive, to grow, to breathe deeply without anxiety or apology. So exhale, let go, and remember, you don't need permission to protect your peace. Now let's get to the heart of it. Let's talk about strength, not the kind that shows up in your muscles or in your bank account. No, I'm talking about that unshakable, invisible, inner strength. The kind that shows up when you're all by yourself and there's no one left to lean on. The kind that says, even if they leave me, I will not break. The kind that survives loneliness, betrayal, silence, and still chooses to rise. Make yourself strong enough to survive alone. Because here's the truth. Not everyone you love will stay. Not everyone who claps for you means it. Not everyone you help will return the favor. And if your strength is tied to their presence, then their absence will destroy you. But if your strength is rooted in something deeper, in your faith, your purpose, your discipline, then even when they disappear, you remain unshaken. There will come a time when you'll walk through a season that feels empty, a season where the phone doesn't ring, where the room is silent, where your support system seems to vanish. And in that moment, you will have a choice to fold or to fortify. Will you crumble under the weight of abandonment, or will you rise under the power of becoming? You've got to become the kind of person who doesn't crumble when left alone. You've got to be your own source of motivation when nobody's cheering you on. You've got to be your own reminder when the world forgets your name. You've got to be your own comfort when the love you gave doesn't come back. Because the truth is, not needing anyone doesn't mean you don't want love. It doesn't mean you don't value connection. It means you've built yourself so solid that love becomes a gift, not a crutch. Company becomes a blessing, not a necessity. You stop chasing validation because you've already confirmed your worth to yourself. Loneliness can't break you when solitude builds you. You learn that peace doesn't come from people, it comes from purpose. That strength doesn't come from applause, it comes from alignment. That joy isn't about how many surround you, it's about how whole you are on the inside. Don't wait for someone else to believe in you. Don't wait for the perfect partner to finally feel whole. Don't wait for a crowd to start performing your purpose. Stand up right now and become everything you were praying someone else would make you. Be your own biggest fan. Be your own daily motivation. Be your own reminder that you are enough. Be your own protector, provider, and peace. Make yourself so strong that being alone doesn't scare you, it empowers you. Because the moment you stop fearing solitude is the moment you take back control of your life. You stop settling. You stop begging. You stop shrinking. You stop entertaining anything that doesn't align with the vision God placed in your soul. And let me tell you something. People can feel that kind of strength. They can feel when you're no longer desperate for attention, for affirmation, for acceptance. And the moment you become self-sufficient in spirit, the world begins to meet you at your level. Because when you don't need anything from anyone, you become magnetic. You become whole. You become free. You stop waiting, and you start creating. Being alone is not a weakness. It's an invitation. An invitation to meet the parts of yourself you've been running from. An invitation to grow, to think, to heal, to build, to mature. An invitation to realize that you were always the answer you were looking for. So ask yourself, what would happen if you gave yourself everything you keep asking for? What would happen if you affirmed yourself daily instead of waiting for compliments? If you loved yourself fiercely instead of waiting for someone to show you how? If you believed in your gifts, your calling, your voice, even if no one else clapped, you'd change your whole life. That's what. You'd stop over-explaining your worth. You'd stop auditioning for roles in other people's stories. You'd stop overextending just to be seen. And instead, you'd show up rooted, confident, full, focused. Because once you know who you are, once you've trained yourself to stand in solitude, nobody can take that from you. Not a friend, not a lover, not a boss, not a family member. That strength becomes your superpower. And when storms come, and they will come, you won't panic. Because you've already weathered your own darkness. You've already been in the valley alone and survived. You've already cried, doubted, prayed, and still kept moving. You've already proved to yourself that you are not fragile. You are forged. So today, make yourself a promise. You will not chase people who walk away. You will not shrink to be accepted. You will not lose sleep over opinions that don't pay your bills or build your spirit. You will not let loneliness define you. You will let it refine you. Make yourself so strong that being alone feels like preparation, not punishment. Like training, not torture. Like purpose, not punishment. Because one day someone will see your strength and think it happened overnight. But you'll know. It happened in the silence. It happened in the empty rooms. It happened when no one was watching. And in those moments, you became unbreakable. So keep going. Keep building. Keep rising. Make yourself strong enough to survive alone, and you'll never fear losing anything again. Let's make something very clear. You are not a victim, and your life is not a rescue mission. You are not waiting to be saved. You are being shaped. Everything you've been through wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to build you. Every disappointment, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every time you sat in silence wondering why no one showed up, all of it was the training ground for the strongest version of you. Because here's the truth that most people avoid: no one is coming. Not to heal you, not to fix you, not to carry you through every storm. And the moment you accept that is the moment you step into your real power. It's time to stop begging for support and start becoming the support. It's time to stop waiting for love and start becoming the love. It's time to stop searching for strength and realize it's been inside you all along. You've been sold a lie, that being strong means being emotionless, that surviving alone means you have no heart. But let me tell you something. Real strength is full of emotion. Real strength feels everything and still chooses to move forward. Real strength cries, bleeds, breaks, and still stands tall the next day. That's the kind of strength I'm talking about. Not coldness, but courage. Not numbness, but resilience. Not ego, but unshakable self-worth. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You don't have to be invincible to be valuable. You just have to decide that you will not be dependent on anyone to build a life you were born to create. Make no mistake, we all need love. We all need connection. But what we don't need is to be defined by it. You don't lose your identity when someone leaves. You don't lose your value because someone overlooked you. You don't stop being worthy because life got quiet. You're not meant to be saved. You're meant to be strong. Strong enough to trust that your calling is bigger than your current circumstances. Strong enough to believe that solitude is not your enemy, but your assignment. Strong enough to stop chasing people who never deserved front row seats to your life in the first place. You've got to train your mind to stop attaching your peace to unstable sources. If your happiness depends on someone answering your texts, you're not free. If your confidence rises and falls with their approval, you're not grounded. If your self-worth crumbles when you're alone, then it's time to rebuild from the inside out. And listen to me, it's not going to be easy. That first night alone will hurt. That first morning when no one checks in will sting. That first weekend when the phone stays silent, that's when you'll be tested. But that's where transformation begins. That's where the fire starts. That's where the old you dies and the new you is born. Don't waste your pain. Don't waste your silence. Don't waste your solitude. Use it. Build with it. Get stronger because of it. Turn your silence into strategy. Turn your rejection into redirection. Turn your heartbreak into hunger. Because one day, you'll look back on this moment when you felt left, overlooked, forgotten, and you'll realize it was the moment you found yourself. You'll realize that the version of you that needed constant attention, constant reassurance, constant company, that version died in the quiet. And what rose in its place was something powerful, unstoppable, unapologetically whole. You're not meant to depend on others for your strength. You are meant to become the strength. For your future, for your purpose, for your family, for your legacy. So when the world goes quiet and nobody claps, clap for yourself. When no one checks in, check in with your own goals. When nobody believes, double down on your own vision. Make yourself so focused, so self-aligned, so spiritually grounded that nothing external can shake your internal. And I don't care if you're young or old, rich or broke, starting over or starting from scratch. You have everything you need inside of you right now to change your life. But you've got to stop looking for someone to carry you. This is your responsibility. This is your time. This is your moment. You are not broken. You are building. You are not alone. You are aligned. You are not abandoned. You are being anointed. You are not meant to be saved. You are meant to be strong. So rise up, not because someone told you to, but because something inside you knows you're not finished yet. And when you rise like someone who's no longer scared of silence. Rise like someone who understands their pain was the price for their power. Rise like someone who knows being alone isn't the end, it's the beginning. Because now you're not just surviving, you're evolving. Now you're not just healing, you're becoming. Now you're not just waiting, you're walking into your destiny with strength that cannot be stolen. Strength you built when nobody saw, when nobody helped, when nobody stayed, but you stayed. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Let me say this loud and clear. Your loneliness is not a punishment, it's preparation. The silence you've been sitting in, the isolation you didn't ask for, the distance you feel from the world around you. It's not because something is wrong with you. It's because something is being built within you. People think leadership is about titles, attention, or applause. But real leadership, it's born in quiet rooms. It's forged in lonely nights. It's crafted in the shadows, not on the stage. And the reason you've been feeling alone is because God is setting you apart to grow you in ways you couldn't grow while distracted. You don't lead by being popular. You don't lead by being surrounded. You lead by learning how to walk forward when nobody claps, when nobody agrees, when nobody sees what you see. That's what makes a leader powerful. Not their crowd, but their clarity. And clarity often comes at the cost of company. You've got to stop mistaking loneliness for loss. You didn't lose people. You found perspective. You didn't get left behind. You got called ahead. You didn't fall off. You fell into alignment. Every strong leader you admire had to go through this season. Moses had to walk the desert. David had to run into caves. Ruth had to stand alone. Even Christ had to go to the wilderness, alone, before his purpose could begin. So who told you your loneliness means you're broken? No, you're not broken. You're becoming. You're being trained. You're being trusted. You're being stripped of what's unnecessary so that what's essential can rise to the surface. Because if you can't lead yourself in the dark, how will you ever lead others in the light? Don't waste this season crying over the people who left. Don't waste this moment begging for company that doesn't see your value. Instead, use it, master it, build with it. Start becoming the leader your future requires. Not the version of you who's still worried about who's watching, but the version of you who watches your own, moves with discipline. Not the version of you that needs permission to be great, but the one who decides that greatness is non-negotiable. You're being prepared for elevation, but preparation always feels like isolation. That's the secret people don't talk about. You've got to get used to the silence. You've got to learn to sit with yourself without running. You've got to master the art of showing up even when no one shows up for you. Because leadership starts with you. Your thoughts, your habits, your character, your values. It doesn't start when someone hands you a title. It starts when you stop betraying yourself for temporary comfort. So if you're sitting alone right now, wondering why life feels so still, so quiet, I want you to hear me. This isn't punishment. This is promotion in progress. It's life stripping away what's fake so that what's real can rise. It's God clearing the stage so you can finally hear your own voice. It's time pulling you away from the crowd so that you can learn how to walk with conviction, not just compliance. And let me tell you something. When you get used to walking alone, your standards go up. Your clarity sharpens. Your energy gets cleaner. Your circle gets smaller. but your life gets larger. Because now you're not leading to please. You're leading with purpose. Now you're not chasing validation. You're standing in your vision. Now you're not afraid of being alone. You own it. You use it. You thrive in it. So stop fighting your season of solitude. It's where your greatest transformation is happening. It's where your deepest healing is taking place. It's where your true identity is being revealed. You are not meant to stay small, comfortable, and surrounded. You are meant to be powerful, disciplined, and set apart. You can't lead if you're still waiting for someone to walk with you. Sometimes leadership means